This is the question my clients in Florida ask me the most. They saw a black stain on the wall. They got a test done, and now they have a lab report with weird Latin names that look like a biology exam. Aspergillus, Penicillium, Stachybotrys. What does that even mean? Are they going to get sick? Which one of those molds actually matters? Today, I'm going to show you the 7 molds that almost always show up on the air tests we run in Florida homes, what each one means, and which one you really need to take seriously. I am Jefferson Prada, founder of Mold Rid of. I've spent years walking into homes in Miami, Broward, Orlando, and Tampa. Part of my job is to measure the air quality inside these properties, send the samples to a lab, and then I get back a report with the list of molds floating in the air of that house. And in most cases, the same 7 names show up. Some of them are normal, others are not. And there's one in particular, the last one on the list, that makes me pick up the phone and call the client that same night. We're going to go one by one. At the end, I'll tell you which one is the dangerous one and what you need to do if you see it on your report. The first one on the list is almost always this one. The lab reports them together because under the microscope they look almost identical. Aspergillus/Penicillium. These are the most common molds on the planet. They live in the soil, in old food, in that piece of bread you forgot in the kitchen. If you leave an orange in the fridge for a month, that green stuff growing on it is penicillium. Is it bad to find it in your house? It depends. Low levels are normal. But if the test inside your home shows 3, 5, or 10 times more than the outside sample, now you have a problem. It means something inside is feeding those molds. Almost always it's hidden moisture. The second one is Cladosporium. This is the outdoor mold by definition. It's right outside your house at this very moment, in the leaves, in the grass, in the air you breathe when you go for a walk. That's why it almost always shows up on tests. What matters isn't that it's there, it's how much is inside compared to outside. If outside shows 1,000 spores and inside shows 10,000, something is wrong. You probably have leaks, poorly sealed windows, or a ceiling stain you haven't noticed yet. Third, alternaria. This one is the king of allergies. If you or your family are always sneezing, with watery eyes, with asthma that doesn't improve, alternaria could be the reason. It lives on plants, in dust, in slightly humid areas like the bathroom or under the kitchen sink. It's not one of the most toxic, but it's the one that triggers the most allergic symptoms, especially in kids and older adults. Fourth group, these two also get reported together. Basidiospores and ascospores. These are the spores of garden molds. From mushrooms, from the fungi that grow on dead wood, on rotting tree trunks. In Florida, we see them constantly because the humidity here is nonstop, and the wood inside our homes, especially in attics and floors, attracts them. If they show up high indoors, it's almost always a sign that you have water-damaged wood somewhere. It could be an attic beam, the subfloor under the bathroom, the bottom of a wall next to a sink. Fifth, Fusarium. This is where the level of concern starts to rise. Fusarium grows where there's standing water, where a pipe has been leaking for weeks, where an AC unit has been dripping inside a wall for months, where the hurricane passed through and nobody dried things out properly. It's aggressive. It can cause infections in the eyes, the skin, the nails. In people with weak immune systems, it can be serious. If it shows up on your report, it's not time to panic, but it's a clear sign that there's active water damage somewhere. 6. Chaetomium. And now we're talking about something serious. Chaetomium only grows on wet materials, soaked drywall, saturated wood, wallpaper with moisture trapped behind it. It doesn't show up by accident. If it's on your report, there is water inside your home, period. It produces toxins that affect the nervous system, chronic headaches, memory problems, fatigue. And the worst part is that most of the time it's hidden inside the walls where you can't see it, but the spores do come out into the air you're breathing. When I see Chaetomium on a report, I tell the client we need to open up walls to find the source. And we get to number 7, the one everybody knows, the famous black mold, Stachybotrys chartarum. This is the one that makes me call the client that same night. Stachybotrys only grows in extreme conditions. It needs cellulose, which is the paper on drywall, and it needs constant water for weeks. It doesn't appear because of a one-day leak. It appears when something has been wet for months and nobody fixed it. It produces powerful mycotoxins. People who live in homes with Stachybotrys report serious respiratory issues, random nosebleeds, extreme fatigue, headaches that won't go away. And in babies and small children, it can be really dangerous. If your report says Stachybotrys, even at low levels, don't wait. That house needs a deep evaluation and professional remediation. This is not something you clean with bleach. So which one is the dangerous one? Stachybotrys and Chaetomium are the ones that set off the alarm. Fusarium too. The others depend on the amount compared to the exterior. What matters isn't the name of the mold, it's the context. A lab report without someone who knows how to read it is just paper. That's why when we run a test, we don't just hand you the numbers, we give you a remediation protocol, a clear explanation, and a document your insurance company will accept. Because that report isn't there to scare you, it's there so you can make the right decision. If you're in Florida and you have doubts about what's in the air inside your home, this is what we do at Mold Rid of. If this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which mold showed up on your report. I reply personally. See you in the next video.